Oh, your I was gonna say your music is definitely coming through your mic, but it's good now. I
Okay,
think.
I should be good.
But it's good now. I
Okay,
think.
I should be good.
Okay. Let me get this opened up actually.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll give people a couple minutes here just to stream in if they do want to watch it before we start proper. But while we're waiting, how about you two tell me, how did you feel about the draft in general?
I
Uh,
can go first.
yeah, you go first. I know Sceptile already did a video on his own
Okay.
draft process.
Yeah, I think this is my second Ubers league. And I being fifth, I figured I would either probably get an Arceus or Yveltal. Um, and I'm happy with Yveltal. It basically does whatever you want it to do. Um, and I kind of just built my team to hit hard, hit from both sides. Um, and a lot of I don't think I've faced anyone in this league before, so it's good to just face new people. And I'm Jeremy, by the way. I don't think I introduced myself.
Yep. Yeah, hello everybody who watches. I'm Lady Lilac. I'm gonna be running,
Bunga.
and then I've got Jeremy
NPBA
here with me,
PRs. Let's do this.
and I've got Dashing Sceptile here as guest to help me
Hello,
actually rank
I'm
teams.
here. For PRs in this, I'm just trying to turn up everyone and like, yeah. Wait, frick! I accidentally did something. Ignore that if I did anything.
Hey, Lisa.
I'm bad at this.
It's good, man. Take your time.
Okay. We are. Yeah. I'm actually gonna just not that. I'm just gonna not doing the music. I'm just gonna hold on. I'm just gonna restart. Unga bunga NPBA PRs. Let's do this. Okay. So I'm here with Lady Lilac and Jeremy for NPBA PRs, and boom. Let's do this. Okay.
Okay, we've got a few people in here. Let's see. Can I? Let me just get. I'm gonna ask one of the mods to. Okay. Let's start with the Sacramento Kingdress. That's Oren's team. That's the team first picked Arceus Dragon. Arceus Dragon first pick of the round. Actually surprised me a little bit. I would have expected Arceus Water, because that's the Arceus form I'm personally highest on, in the absence of the ones that are banned. But what do you guys think about the team?
Yeah, I think.
Um.
Oh, go ahead.
I like it. So basically, it's Arc Dragon, Mega Zam, P2 Scizor, Neo Queen, Keldeo, Carkol the Goat, Slurpuff, Tangela, Thievul, and Thunderous. So I know Orn a lot. He's one of my best friends on Discord. So I know how he builds his teams. Arc Dragon, after he used it in one speed tour, he really liked it and he decided to use it, and I really respect that. Like, Arc Dragon can run physical a lot with Dragon Claw, Sword Stance, and gets access to Iron Head and Poison Jab for the fairy types, and EQ for the steals. Mechanism is very nice because it provides a very nice speed tier, and like there wasn't really anything else you could really pair it with. Cinderace shared the same speed tier. Ashkin isn't really that good, and like it was basically either Mega Latios, which is I would not prefer Double Dragon or Drago. I don't think Dragon Ball. I think it was Skyman, and that just does not go well because the 121 speed tiers. So wait, 127, but whatever. I like Mega. P2 is very good as a slow pivot along with Scizor, and Scizor can defog. Looking at this team, I only see three defoggers in Scizor, Arceus, and Thunderous. Not the best.
None of them really want to run defog either. I think, can Keldeo get it?
No,
No,
Keldeo does not get
that,
defog.
I
The
don't
only
think
oh,
Hazard is that important.
I'm
And
sorry, I totally forgot.
Uber,
Rabbit Spin Carkle. Rabbit Spin Carkle. That's one of
yeah,
the biggest. That's one of the biggest removal options. I pers- I personally really like this team. It's a very solid team,
Okay.
and knowing Orn, I think he's gonna do very well with it, as he's already shown in his week 1.
yeah, I think it's good. I think Hazard. I think Hazards aren't that important in Ubers. I played a whole season with basically just um Reggie Alecki as my Hazard removal, and because you're either very bulky or hitting very hard, and
And the Mega Pidgeot, don't forget.
yeah, yeah, I dropped it very fast. Um,
Yeah.
I think this seems good. Um, but you're relying a lot on RCS Dragon and Zam to do do a lot of your heavy hitting, in my opinion.
Uh,
Not a huge fan of the others, but
me. I personally love Neo Queen and Keldeo on this team. They're very good wall breakers. Well, Neo Queen can punch holes in things, and Keldeo can
mhm,
just pivot or do massive damage with Specs or Life Orb. And
yeah,
Thunder T can also do things, but it's not that good because all the dragons are running around like
Thunder still can. Yeah.
Zygarde, like Garchomp, but
Though there's no
this team
Garchomp right now.
this team handles Garchomp,
They-
but like the big dragons that wall Thundy, like Zygarde, like
yeah,
Rayquaza takes it neutrally, but like
It's really just
for the
Zygarde.
like Dialga, like yeah. Yeah.
This
I
team.
really like this team. And I personally think most of the time Thundy's gonna be running U-turn and like supportive on this personal on this team. But yeah, Magazam is very good, and just a reminder, it does have. Re- Remember, guys, RCS does have refresh. If you forgot about that,
Oh, I'm very aware of Arceus having
Megazam does
refresh.
have barrier. If you want to run Biz Def Megazam, which is
yeah.
possible. But yeah,
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this team is good. I'm a fan of most of the pieces on it. I'm not a huge Porygon 2 believer in singles. I think, well, I mean, this team it's a bit better because it has there's some mons in this team that are happy to take knockoff. Arceus Dragon in particular, very happy to just switch in on knockoffs. Same with Slurpuff.
mm-hmm.
Even Neo Queen and Keldeo to a lesser extent. But I don't know, for how early Porygon 2 went in the draft, I would have preferred to see some like a more proactive pivot. Like I personally think like a Slowbro or a Slowking would have been phenomenal in this team,
Hmm.
even with Megasam. But I mean, if you've seen the power rankings I did up, I rated this team Arceus tier. I think Arceus in general is like the most broken thing you can be doing in an Uber's draft. It it excels at literally anything and fills any role for any team. But at the same time, your opponent always has to respect it as a powerful setup sweeper that can clean up a game because of its exceptional move pool and setup options and strong stabs. So yeah, I'm going to be very high on any team with an Arceus. I'm just a little bit less sold on the lower tiers, although I do agree that I do like the core six of Arceus, Megazam, Caesar, Nidoqueen, Keldeo, and Thundurus a lot.
Mm-hmm. And just remember, this team does have webs in case they instar buff. So just saying, that is also a very good thing. But yeah,
How do you feel about the team? How would you?
um, I'd say S tier. Looking at what you have, I'd say S tier. Like it's perfectly balanced.
Yeah. Yeah, Jeremy, how do you feel about the team?
I think he's muted at
Oh,
the moment.
he is. Okay. I'm not as high on the team as you are. I'm high on the team. It's an RSU's team. I think any RSU's team has the potential to be S tier. I think the core
Yeah.
is good. I think there are some aspects of the team that are exploitable and some pieces that aren't as strong as they could be. And there are a couple teams that I think I would probably rate higher than this one. And so for that reason, I would probably put it at the top of an A tier. But I can think
Yeah,
of at
same
least
honestly.
I can think of at least two teams off the top of my head that I am personally more afraid of than this one, and I would
Yeah.
probably not rate it an S tier for that reason.
Mhm. Okay, yeah. I'd say A tier for this team at least.
Yeah. Sorry, I was muted the whole time.
Yeah.
I would give A tier as well because S tier to me is like I do not want to play that team in the like ever, and this team doesn't. It's good, but it doesn't scare me like some others do.
And yeah, DJ, I agree. I don't think Webbs does a ton to this team. Arceus and Megazam are already super fast. Nido Queen and Keldy, even Keldy is pretty fast. Nido Queen can take Webbs a bit, but if Nido Queen's your web abuser, it doesn't need the Webb's help. So we'll do A tier. I like A tier. I think this is a very good A tier team, but I think it is definitely an A tier team.
Yeah.
Next team up is the Driftvale Derps with Fatty on Crack. Yeah. This is the team. I think this team is kind of funny. This team is like you're looking at a Blissey, a Shuckle, a Mega Sableye, a Corviknight, but which is like mons you've more traditionally seen install teams. But then there's a Marshadow and a
Okay,
Nidoking.
so something I want to say. I don't like that you have Licky and Blissey. Like, what
Yeah,
purpose?
that's a red flag for me.
I think we all agreed on that. I
What
think
purpose is there for both? I'd say take Blissey over Licky here,
I mean,
cause
either you need a grass type, you need a fire type.
no, I mean, fire, water, grass isn't that important, honestly. But okay, I've used Marshall Corvicore in the past, and it's very nice. The the four mons I really like on this team are Marshadow, Corvi, actually five. Marshall, Corvi, Prim, Nidoking, and Latios. Those are the
mm,
five I really like in this team.
I agree.
Like, I'd say you could honestly like. I see the Mega Sableye and the Shuckle, but also wait a minute. You have, you have two web setters.
Yeah, and this team doesn't even really. This team isn't a great Webs team either.
I'd say if Fan Crack is watching this, I'd say try. I'd honestly say drop Shuckle, or like try to have like more hyper offense on this team because you have five. Oh, you have four amazing breakers in Marshadow, Prim,
Yeah,
Neo King, Latios, and potentially Spec Spike could also be a wall break.
yeah. It kind of has an identity crisis because you can only bring 6 mons
Yeah,
uh, a game, and if you don't bring, Corviknight, Mega Sableye, like I mean, you basically are playing with 7 mons because you can only bring um, one normal, and Shuckle sucks.
Mm,
So you're basically
yeah.
playing with mons.
Then like it's just like I personally do not like Mega Sableye in this team. Like I see the Marshall Corby, which is awesome. Corby is a good defensive pivot into Primarina, Nidoking, and Marshadow. Same thing with Blissey with Teleport, can pivot into the mean nasty mons. But
Yeah.
this okay, I'm just gonna say this now. This team needs some transactions, and it would be
mhm.
very good.
I
I don't
agree.
like it.
Yes.
There are things like even with two normal types, like this team has two normal types, like special defensive normal types, and Licky and Blissey, and I'd still be worried about this team's matchup versus Fast Ghosts. Like
Just
Marshall's got
saying,
Shadow Sneak,
just
but
saying right now, their ghost resist are those only 2 normal types because Mega Sableye doesn't resist
I mean
ghosts.
that's fine. There are not a lot of ghost resist in general. It's literally only dark and normal types. I don't think that's a big deal. I think Mega Sableye, it's a little out of place in this team. It is a mon that has to be respected in prep though, because if you don't prep for it, the mon can be literally unbreakable. And there are some teams that I think are going to have a very difficult time with Mega Sableye. That said, I agree. I would love to see some transactions. I would love to see. I'm not big on either of the Webs mons. This team is already pretty slow, and Vikavolt and Chuck will only exacerbate that. And the team doesn't. The team can't. The biggest thing is, even though it's slow, the team can't capitalize on Webs, right? Its hazard control is defog
fair,
Corviknight.
I mean, this is just me. I personally love webs with Nidoking. It makes it so much faster and if anything, at the moment the speed tiers go 125, 110, then it goes to 85, which yikes.
Yeah, this team would love something faster. There's a lot. There are some very good fast mons that are on the board right now.
I would get at least something that would be 100 or force base 100s to run timid, because at the moment base 100s can run modest. Look at this team. A adamant or modest Victini would destroy this team.
I think this team is going to feel compelled to run Scarf Nidoking a lot. That's where I would be if I had this team. I feel like I'd be looking at my prep and being like, damn, my Nidoking needs a choice scarf. And you don't want to have to be giving your Nidoking a choice scarf all the time. Like, it's a good option, but when your speed tiers are in such a way that you need the extra speed from it. And I just really, I don't like webs when the team isn't offensive enough to be like a good webs team, I think. And it invites opportunities to clear control, and I don't know, but you don't have a rapid spinner or like a court. Yeah, you don't have a rapid spinner, so your only options to control your own hazards are defog Corviknight. I mean, this team has good pieces. I think with a couple trades, this could be a very strong team. It's got Marshadow and Corviknight, which I think are like two of the best mons you can have, and it's got like some other great offensive and defensive pieces, so it can work well in a balanced team. I'd be happy to put this team in B tier. I don't know if I'd be the top of B tier, but I'd put it in B tier. How do you guys feel?
Yeah, B tier, yeah.
Okay, B tier it is. Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and B tier. Okay. Next team on the list is, what have we got? The Balan Bulus with Rere. I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce this. Rikazu? Is that correct? Well, I'm sure I'll get a complaint if it's not correct. This is a Mewtwo team. Mewtwo's another one of those mons that, especially with how many things are banned here, is really just quite exceptional. I think it'd be very hard to be unhappy with Mewtwo as your starting point for any draft. And then they rounded it out with Landorus, Tapu Fini as like 2 and 3. So like, I mean, does it even matter what you do from there? Like this team is really good.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back. I think this is the best team. There might be one, maybe two others, but I think you can't prep. You basically prep against this team.
Yeah, the doc is also a little bit out of date. I did my ranking on the team when it had Diancie. I believe they traded it for a Coffer-Gigas, which I think is a good trade.
Okay.
Diancie had no purpose on this team.
Yeah, but I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
though my backstory, I had a Mewtwo team that was the only other Mon that also was on my team was Umbreon, and Umbreon just kept everything alive.
Looking at this, looking at the Ballambulus, I would make some transactions, and you did for week 2, so it's dropping the team for Rodriguez.
Good trade.
I really like that this team, but one thing I will say, get a better fighting type, in my opinion.
I think Rapid Strikes might be the best. The only reason
Yeah,
I
but
didn't draft it was because
looking at
I
this,
already had that speed tier like a bunch of times.
just saying, this team only has 2 grass resists. Rillaboom would just eat this team alive.
I mean, Melmetal's a pretty good grass resist, and I don't mind
Yeah,
Modem as a
it's
grass.
only Melmetal and
There's also not even
Remo.
nobody even drafted Rillaboom, so that's kind of
Yeah,
a.
no,
Bruh.
no one drafted Rillaboom.
But this team is. I really like the top 3: Mewtwo, Landolfini, and Melm, and Lycandos. This seems very scary for everyone to fight.
Yeah, I think this team is
Like
well
if you
constructed.
prep,
Oh, go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna say, I think this team is well constructed. I think it's got a lot of very strong defensive mons, and like Landorus, T, Tabu Fini, and Melmetal are all excellent defensive mons. That their one drawback is that they don't have as much longevity as they like, and they can be very reliant on leftovers for to last throughout a fight and switch in lots to defensive pivot.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got
Yeah.
Umbreon as your cleric, who has excellent wish support, especially in combination with a lot of these mons. Like the Umbreon's number one weakness is strong fighting types, but it's pretty scary to click a fighting move on Umbreon if you're gonna get like a wish past Mewtwo or like Landorus or Fini is gonna swap in on it. Like, how do you make progress?
I've already been doing calcs on Mewtwo, and there's I, there's not a Pokemon that can reliably switch in on Mewtwo
Of course
the
not.
entire game.
That's why Mewtwo is so good. It's
I'd say Galarian Corsola or Dusclops is one.
Yes, but those
Max
Pokemon suck.
Dusclops.
Pokemon suck. You just toxic it in time and you
Fair
win.
enough. But yeah, looking at this team, I
Umbreon
really like
food.
Mewtwo on this team, and one thing I'm just gonna say right now, you are really weak to Spike Stack, like regular Spike Stack. You have 2 flying mons that do get defog, so you're fine there. But like, Melmetal doesn't want to be shipped down, or Shiva doesn't want to be shipped down. Beanie doesn't because it doesn't get really much recovery. Mewtwo doesn't want to take damage, doesn't need to because you're not running recover every week. Like, and also there's no poison type, so they're going T spikes here. And fun if you didn't know, T spikes activates before Misty Terrain,
Yeah.
so Feeny will get poisoned.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Spikes and Ubers. I'm a big fan, but I'm not. I don't know if I agree this team is super susceptible to spikes. I mean, Landorus and Rotom aren't the world's greatest defoggers, but they're good defoggers, and especially like a lot of the poison types that like would set T spikes are never going to stay in a Landorus. So if you bring in Landorus on a T spike, like you're going to get your defog off. And if the
I think Lando. I've come around on it. You can prep for a defensive one, and then it just goes SD with EQ Stone Edge, and you lose.
I mean, Landorus is one of the best. Landorus is one of the greatest Pokemon of all time. That isn't like restricted.
Yeah.
It's always. You can never go wrong with a Landorus. I regret
also,
not second picking Landorus myself.
Can we just mention that their only fairy resist is Melmetal?
That's a very good fairy resist.
I get that,
Yeah.
but if your opponent has helmet spam and ships down Melmetal with spikes and stuff, a Xerneas or like Xerneas can just go in.
They're just going back to my Xerneas goes in on basically every team. It's one of the top ons and
It
Ubers
depends.
without.
Like it depends. Like max Bedev steals can take it on pretty well,
Yeah, I mean,
but then if it runs physical, then
yeah. I
Exactly.
mean, the
'Cause
team.
then it
yeah.
runs choice band close combat and it
The,
dies in one hit.
the team is reliant on Umbreon to keep a lot of the bulkier mons here healthy throughout a fight, especially in the face
I
of
think
spikes
that's
and
good
such.
enough.
Um,
Yeah.
but it's a very good Umbreon team. Like it's just this is a great place for Umbreon. They've added a Ghost now too, which will cover
Mm.
Umbreon's weaknesses even more.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if the team loses Umbreon, it probably it's gonna get worn down very easily because it doesn't have like nothing else in this fight has recovery except Mewtwo. Um, but
I don't know. I don't know any players in this league really, so I don't know how good
yeah,
this
I'm not saying
player is.
I like the team a lot. I think you might feel I think we might see a lot of protective pads on either Melmetal or Rapid
I
Strike, but
I've actually fought this person that we're talking about their team before. It was not fun. Basically, it was in a league called XPDLA, and basically, my Weavile and Megalop missed all the triple axles versus their RC's grass, and I lost.
that's triple
Well, that
axle. So how do you guys
um,
feel about rating the team? I
I
think this
mean
team's good.
I'll put
I'd
this in
say
L.
I'd say A just cause Mewtwo just murders everything. Let's be real.
Yeah, Jeremy.
And like,
I think it's S because it's good. I mean, I don't think there's a team here that's perfect, but it has Mewtwo, which is automatically an 18. And then when you put Lando, Fini, Melmetal,
Yeah.
Umbreon,
I am somewhere between A and S myself. I think I like this team more than the Kingdress actually.
I'd say
I
top of
don't.
A
I
in
don't know
my
if I.
opinion.
I
Top of
don't know
A.
if I S tier like it. There are weaknesses. The team
yeah.
is very reliant on Umbreon. I could definitely, although I mean, with the cough
Hmm.
figures, I don't know. I, I think I'm comfortable rating it top of A tier, but like, I could see like after a couple of weeks, my opinion on this, like even if there's no transactions, moving it up to S tier depending on performance. I just I think it is really reliant on Umbreon, which can be completely fine. But I think top of A is good for now. Now let's take a look at our fourth team. What is it? What's the fourth team? Our fourth team is your team, Sceptile.
Yes, it is. The fourth team
Uh,
is mine.
oh wait, gotta move my thing over. Ooh.
So, you guys can talk about since it's my team.
Yeah, let me just move my
Uh,
screen over.
I will say I'm a little upset I didn't go Mega Diancie round two. Um, it just clicks buttons and can KO basically anything. And yeah, like
Yeah,
we said earlier, Arceus is just a flying stab move that's special with no drawbacks is super strong.
Yeah, like basically like arc flying, it doesn't have any immunities. Like it can freely run mono judgment, and
Hmm.
it can like, well, depends like, and also it gets earth power. So like, what's the switch in?
yeah, I guess good coverage
Yeah,
for steel types.
I mean,
Um,
I I still probably would have gone if Arceus came to me. I would have gone Mono Dark. Um,
I still think Arceus Water is the best available form, but flying is good. Flying is just more offensive.
yeah.
I mean, it's like I said for the first team. I think Arceus is pretty much the most broken thing you can be doing in an Uber's draft where it's allowed. And Arceus
Hmm.
flying is one of the good forms. The
Yeah.
main thing it has, the main weakness it has relative to some of the other top forms like water and water, dragon, dark, and then of course ones that are banned, is it is susceptible to stealth rocks, and there's no way to get around that. And your Arceus really doesn't like you can't give it boots, so um, I think the stealth rock weakness hinders its other the otherwise exceptional bulk, which means that offensive sets can be a little bit more susceptible to actually being killed. But
but to be fair, like looking at I have
yeah, you Mega Diancie, and
and I have Hydra, Conk, and Delmas that can remove hazards.
yeah, no, I agree. I think I think your team is exceptional hazard control. Diancie's great. It doesn't it doesn't like steel type rock setters. Like it can't really deter hazards from them safely. But there's like a Delmise too. Delmise is a great rapid spinner with valuable typing here. Yeah, I mean, I like the team. I think Arceus is broken. I think Mega Diancie, Jirachi, and Hydreigon is an exceptional, very offensive-leaning fantasy core. Mega Diancie is a broken Pokemon. It's an extraordinary mixed attacker that becomes really bulky physically thanks to Diamond Storm with no effort. Jirachi is obnoxious as shit and super flexible. I think Swampert is great. It can have problems with longevity throughout a match, but it also doesn't necessarily need to last a long time to fulfill its role. And it's got good bulk. It's got Flip Turn and Stealth Rocks, which is very nice. I'm not super high on Conkeldurr as a fighting type. I think it's fine. I haven't seen Conkeldurr really see any success in singles before, and I'm not outside of Trick Room modes, and I'm not super high on Conk relative to other fighting types. I probably would have gone with Terrakion over Conkeldurr in your shoes.
I mean, I do have Mega Dia, but in my draft analysis, I said I've never used Conk, so I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah.
See how it is.
That's completely fair.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think Conk is good. It's just 14 points is a lot. Or I think for me, for my fighting type, I either want to be at the higher end of fighting types or get a budget one, because they all basically do the same thing with different speeds and different attack.
I was thinking of getting Girder, which is basically cheap Conk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think.
Or nothing wants to switch in on a way more close combat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the team is good. It's an Arceus team. Just about any Arceus team that isn't abysmally constructed is going to be good. It's just a question of how do we feel about
I think
relative to the other Arceus team. I don't think I like this team more than the Booloos. I think there are similar parts of it that are exploitable. And I think actually, do I think that's the case?
I think this is I like this team as on par with the other Arceus.
Yeah.
I like Mega Diancie more than Mega Zam for the points. So yeah, I'd probably put it about the same.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. I think I'm inclined to agree with you. I think both Arceus teams. I put both teams in Arceus tier on my thing when I was memeing, but I think both Arceus teams are pretty much. They feel like they're on the same level to me. Pretty different in terms of how they're constructed. This one is more flexible, but I think also has more weaknesses. I think it might struggle to take hits sometimes if it gets put on the back foot. Swampert and Arcanine can fulfill defensive duties, as can Jirachi, but they don't have the combination of longevity and stats that put them on the tier of some of the formats other better defensive mons. And for all that I nailed, and for all that I kind of like didn't have great things to say about Porygon 2 and Tangela, they do have longevity on their side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'd be down to put this team pretty much on the same level as the other Arceus team. I wish I could put them on top of each other.
Mhm.
Like Swampert can be very frustrating. It can like
Yeah.
spread yawns
Yeah.
or
Oh,
toxics and
I'm a big Swampert
flip
believer.
turn.
I'm putting a Sacramento Kingdras in front just because Dragon is my favorite typing. That's the
Mhm.
tiebreaker. Fifth team. Let's take a look at it.
That's mine.
Team 5. That is your team. How about you talk to us? Why don't you talk to us about your team?
Um,
Give me the rundown.
I got sniped really bad, but I think that's my own fault. Um,
That's draft.
What did you get sniped of? Just curious.
I don't know. I think I want to keep that to myself,
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, but yeah.
just in case, in the future. I got
Mhm.
sniped at twice, and one of them, I I don't know why they did what they did, so that's not really my fault. But
Mm.
um, I kind of just wanted again to play with mons I've never played with. Um,
Makes sense.
Yeah, you picked a great mon to start
especially
with.
before the new generation. Like I've never played with any of the top. I've never played with a single mon I've had. So that kind of went into my decision making, but also one of the things that like I think I'm very good in prep. Um, and I want to capitalize on that. That are kind of mons that are harder to use, like Mew and Infernape. But if you bring the right sets each week, they're very good. And
Yeah,
so
like.
that's
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I think the start of your draft was really good. Yveltal's on the short list for like the literal like best first picks. Like, if you're not going to draft an Arceus form, I think your correct decision is to draft Yveltal or Mewtwo. You can make a case for Marshadow as well, but I think Marshadow is a little bit more exploitable than the other two. It's a great mon, can do just about. It can do pretty much anything and be exceptional at it, except for set hazards. And you've got a Mew, so like if you want to set hazards, you'll set hazards. Um, I like Coco a lot here too. I think Coco Evelthal is a really cool uh, like fairy dark
Yeah.
kind of mini core to
See,
build
the thing
around.
is, you have you have one of the somewhat checks to your belt on Coco because it resistible stabs.
yeah. That's why I said I kind of wish I would have went Mega Diancie. Um, as well because that's one of the other best checks to
Uh,
Yveltal.
yeah, you were
Mm,
never gonna get Mega Diancie though because it was second picked.
Well, I could have instead of Mew.
your
Uh,
Velto does get stealing, to be
oh yeah, no,
fair.
that
It
it would have.
does. It does. But like I don't know, I like teams that hit hard from both sides. I think like what can if we're talking about mons that like are good offensively, like really nothing can switch into a well played Mamoswine.
Hmm.
Um, because then you also have to if you like for Umbreon for example, like it can check Mamoswine, but it can't check Infernape and Coco, and so it's kind of like pick your poison on
Yeah,
And and
what you want
then
to
there's
check.
a whole your Velto to deal with as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think his team is
and
good. I think yeah, I like Eveltal a lot. I like Coco with Eveltal. Um,
I will say my biggest weakness is I don't have a cleric this second.
yeah,
Um,
Uh, y-
I mean,
you
Mew.
kind of do. You kind of do in well,
I mean you
you have,
have Mew, but Mew has better things to do than be a
you have
cleric.
Mew
I'm not.
and
I don't
Sor
run you as a cleric.
Yeah,
and Serena.
Is Serena at Wish?
It
No,
it gets
no, Kamala gets Wish.
aromatherapy and Kamala gets Wish, so you're fine.
Okay, yeah. So I'm kind of like doing. I like to have a strong cleric. Um, like
Yeah.
in my Nats decks, like I have Sylveon. I've had Umbreon in the past.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know if I'd say Wish Komala means you're fine. I think if I was gonna have a Wish mod, I'd rather have it not be Komala. And
yeah, yeah.
that's part of why I'm not super high on. I think I like the Yveltal Mew Coco a lot. I think Infernic and Mamoswine are fine. They're strong attackers. Infernic's pretty fast. Mamoswine has incredible coverage, obviously, like notoriously good coverage. Um, I don't love Suicune and Mega Aggron here. Mega Aggron in
No, I don't
particular,
either, but I kind of
it's just got no long.
backed myself in a corner.
Yeah, Mega Aggron just has no longevity like at all, and then there's nothing here to support it. Like, does Serena get Leech Seed? But like, I'd hate to run Leech Seed on Serena.
No, I definitely plan on making some changes. I just was busy this weekend and missed Grace. Um, it's not my favorite team I've ever built, but I just think the top, especially the top four Mons, are very hard to prep against.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I think. Yeah, I mean you've got Mamoswine and Infernape, obviously. Great answers to opposing steel types that might otherwise be difficult. Um, they're great offensive options. My main concern for this team is if it gets put on the back foot. You're
Mm-hmm.
like your defensive monsters don't have the kind of longevity. Like yes, Suicune can run rest, but rest talks weak like rest forms of Suicune can be pretty exploitable in this format, and Mega Aggron like can take hits until it can't, and sometimes it can't, and like especially like if it's well like some of the best threats against Mega Aggron actually aren't drafted. Like there's no Blacephalon right now, but
Mega
like
Aggron is also like a very good rocker. Like you have good rockers, you have a good Spiker and Mew, good T Spiker and Mew, but Mew's basically forcing a lot.
Yes.
Pretty much here.
yeah, I like a lot of parts of this team. I don't love the team defensive. I mean, Yveltal helps, but like if you're running defensive Yveltal, you're not running offensive Yveltal. I mean, it does everything. Like it's hard to go wrong with Yveltal. Um, it can do so much, and there's great tools to support Yveltal. I'm just like not a. I think I'm just not a fan of like the last
Yeah, like
four picks really.
I want to say I think I saw a choice band developer do like 67 to Clefable. Like that's insane damage.
Yeah, the Mon does everything.
Yeah, but it gets a free life orb on dark moves.
But yeah, let's
Yeah, like Life Orb also works. Yeah, like this thing's very insane.
yeah, let's rate the team.
So I personally think this team is S because Yveltal broke an Uber, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh wow, you're an S
Yeah,
tier.
I don't think it's S tier. Just based on the team, I'm confident in piloting it. Um,
Actually, I changed it back. I think it's A at least. At least.
yeah, I think it's you know A to low A right now, which I'm fine
Yeah,
with.
I don't like it more than any of the RCS teams. Um, I I would have been tossing it up between low A high B. I was actually leaning more towards B, but if you guys are A, we can put it in A. But I think it's definitely below the RCS teams. But we're gonna start getting to the teams that were picked after all like the broken RCSs and Mewtwo's and Yveltals went. What's next? Gudra Gang?
So next team is the Gudra Gang, and I have a couple things I want to say about this team. Just looking at, one, I love the Go to Dialga pick. I've only seen Dialga been drafted one other time in Ubers, so two, but one of them was basically no budget Ubers. But I love Dialga, and it's goaded. But looking at this team, Your only dragon resist is G Weezing. Or, well, answer.
Yeah, I don't like de-weezing in draft. I think it's kind of bad.
And also, the second person that has double normal.
Yeah, that's also bad, in my opinion.
Yeah, at least they didn't invest quite as many points in it this time. I think the Audino here is really good. But
I'd say keep
for
Audino
budget.
and drop Miltank for like budget steal. Like Caparaja, if that's 6, that would help. Because Caparaja's like a good rocker. But yeah, just looking at this, Dialga is click specs Dracos and wipes teams. Mega Blastoise controls my sweep. I've seen Mega Blastoise get, I think it was 24 kills in the Noober League. So yeah,
Yeah,
very strong model with Shell Smash.
Yeah, if it sets up Shell Smash, it's really broken.
And Victini just buttons basically.
Yeah, the speed tiers aren't amazing here. Like there's a Ninjask, but Ninjask doesn't want to come to every week.
Yeah, like you're
yeah,
never.
Ninjask isn't coming.
Your
Once.
fastest mon is Mianzhao.
Yeah. I mean, this team is going to be a team where there's going to be, it's going to need to run choice scarfs on stuff like Scarf Croak, Scarf Mianzhao, Scarf Teeny. I mean, those are just going to.
But then you're not hitting those damage. Like I actually have a Napdex Mega Blastoise without Shell Smash, Victini, Krook.
Yeah, I mean, Blastoise doesn't.
You don't want to be running. I have run Scarves. But you want to be hitting those one-hit KOs with Victini, and you can't do that with the Scarf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a fault in the team. I think this team it lacks speed control without Choice Scarf.
My personal suggestion, maybe drop Ninjas and Miltank for like you'd have 10 points, and then maybe like get a Spiker and like Caparaja. Like that's just my suggestion because Spike support ships everything down in range of Scarf Victini, in range of Mega Blastoise, in range of Dialga, pretty much.
Yeah, I would like Spikes a lot in this team. I think yeah, you got good tools to support him. Dialga's good. Well, Dialga's fine. It's like not as broken as like the other Ubers, but you get Mega Blastoise with it, which is like more broken than anything that isn't an Uber, which is something this team has going for it over the more front-loaded teams. Zapdos is probably relegated to defensive sets on this team. It's the only defensive mon with any sort of longevity here, and while Audino does have Wish support, it's not a great Wish support mon. It can't. Like you're making sacrifices by bringing Audino over something else.
But again, it's one of those things where when you have two normal types, you can't bring.
Yeah,
I guess you could bring both, but almost
they're never.
Ninja sucks. So you're limiting yourself to basically a 7-1 team. And that doesn't ever feel great.
No, actually, no. Ninjas does not suck. I've seen somebody legit destroy with Ninjask, and that's Orn. But
Don't
like, I've seen.
Don't sleep on
Ninjask.
Ninjask. At 2 points, it's a fine pick. Like it's got a strong enough U-turn. It's incredibly fast.
I've seen Ninjask like scare out the mighty Mewtwo.
Yeah, I mean, Ninjask in the late game can take teams to the cleaners, right? Like if you're like you've been thinking, oh, it's just a Ninjask. You're like, I don't need my steel. Yeah, I don't need to keep my steel type that healthy. And then in acrobatics, sword stance, Ninjask is like, allow me to introduce myself. And like 6-0 you.
Acrobatics, cause you're forced boots every single
No, you're not.
time.
No, you're not. You're not forced to run boots. Ninjask is not forced to run boots. It depends. It depends on the team structure. You can run dual wing beat, but acrobatics is stronger if you're looking to have Ninjask fill a cleaner role. And
But yeah, I think
it's also great versus itemless Jask is great versus Ghost because it gives you a fucking switch into Poltergeist.
Yeah, I really like that you have. Like, I really like this team because well, You have good removal in Zapdos, Mega Blastoise, but I really don't suggest you running Rapid Spin Mega Blastoise when you have the opportunity to click shells and win games. And G-Weezing is good default support.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'd not gonna lie, I'd say this team is C. I'm gonna be real.
I wouldn't put it that low.
Honestly, no. I meant to say
I think
B
it's
at
B.
least.
I think it's B as well. But I mean, I play it week 1, and half my team's gonna be there to beat Mega Blastoise.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I,
Because
I, I
once,
think it's B. Yeah, I think it's B tier as well. Even with Weezing and Zapdos, this team is actually still kind of like afraid of ground types. And I think some of the mons would otherwise be flexible due to the nature of the team are kind of made inflexible because there's nothing else because they need to fulfill certain roles, and the team is slow. Ninjask is fast, but Ninjask is also has very specific roles, and it's can't freely take advantage of its speed the way like a stronger fast mon would. I agree with you. I think B tier is good. We'll
Yeah. Mhm.
as soon as I find my tab, B tier. Above or below the derps? I think above.
yeah, I'm fine with that.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely above.
Okay. Let's see. Team 7. Vegas Victini. Vegas Victini. The Rayquaza team. I like this team.
Yeah, I like this team a lot. I think Celesteela was a pretty fortunate 6th round pick.
Yeah, one thing I see, and that is triple flying.
Yeah.
Well, kind of
Uh,
quadruple it's quadruple if
Wait.
you decide to bring Sylvia flying, but
Where's
like,
the? Wait. Where's the? Okay. I mean I don't really
Yeah,
count Murkrow either.
uh, I see
Murkrow
that
was he needed a 1 point mon.
I see that the freeze dry switching is
Yeah,
Cinderace. Dreaking can take a hit. Like Dreaking's bulky and Savali, depending on type.
Celesteel's also a freeze dry switch in. Freeze dry doesn't have high base power.
It's neutral, but yeah,
Yeah,
it can. Like
it's
just looking at this team,
Slowking Galar can also be a great freeze dry switching. Like if you run AV
looking at this
Slowking,
team, that's Kieran White 6-0s. Looking at it right there.
which team? Sorry, what six O's?
Did anyone even have Kirill?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Oh
someone
yeah,
did.
yeah, someone does. Yeah,
Yeah, like Specs Kieran White, 6-0s this team. It just runs max speed for the Rayquaza. It's speed ties, win speed tie, game over.
Uh,
Because knowing
that's
Cinderace clicks high jump kick and misses, and then it's GG there.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if I super agree with that take. I think AV Slowking can take even Specs freeze dries okay, and if it's Specs
Like I think
you can run
looking at,
you can run a Silvally like if you're playing with a Kyurem White team you can run a Silvally Steel that takes hits really well. Silvally can be really bulky if you want it to be.
yeah, and
You're making sacrifices versus like the neutral mons when you click freeze dry over ice beam, right? Like it is lower base power. Like
but yeah,
I think the biggest thing for me is like the other team that relied on Umbreon. This team relies on Aromatisse a lot, and
not really.
Aromatisse is a 7 point mon for a reason.
It does
I don't
rely on
know.
Aromatisse to be its fairy.
Once I got swept by an Aromatisse, but yeah.
Well, that's on
Yeah,
you.
Aromatisse is not that good. It's a good it's a
It's a
good
good 7 point mon.
The
it's
real
pretty much a budget fortress, pretty much.
the real
Or a budget
problem
Sylveon, but yeah.
the real problem with this team is that it can't run shiny Rayquaza.
Why?
Because Shiny Rayquaza can't have V Create, and so if you run Shiny Rayquaza, you're telling your opponent that you don't have V Create.
Oh yeah,
I
true.
mean,
So like, I kind of want to put it in. You know,
Yeah,
I love Rayquaza though, and I think Cinderace is a great offensive partner for it.
yeah.
Pyro Ball,
yeah,
high
Rayquaza
jump
is
kick, and
very
gunk
nice
shot
if you.
clear out all the checks.
And melodic, a good. I played against very good melodic players, and you hit it about 30 times, and then it you just lose because you can't kill it.
Yeah, Milotic.
Yeah,
Between Milotic and
like
Slowking, this team can blanket check just about anything, especially Celesteela. Like,
this thing.
Yeah.
This team has very good defense and G King, Milo, Aromatisse, Steela, and Mudsdale, and Shaman to an extent.
yeah,
And that's really it.
I have one very major concern about this team though,
Hmm.
actually, which is its susceptibility to electric types. It has a Mudsdale.
Yeah.
I think Mudsdale's a good mod, but
Yeah, I do
Voting
too.
Mudsdale
round.
does
But
not
okay.
have. Mudsdale has very bad, or well, not bad, but Mudsdale does not have great. Like, it doesn't have fantastic special bulk. Um, right?
Yeah,
If
I've
I,
seen
anything,
a Sylvester Mudsdale before.
yeah, I mean, yes, but then like if Mudsdale has assault vest, like who you don't have a
it's
rocker.
not. Yeah.
This team is
Yeah,
very reliant on Mudsdale to fulfill a lot of
looking
roles,
at.
and I
Oh, I
don't
just
know
realized.
if
Looking at this team, the speed gap 119, 100,
Yeah.
95, and then like I think it's Murkrow, and then it's like the
Milotic.
Melodic.
60s.
There's Milotic in
Melodic's
V1.
in the 80s, but you're not running speed on that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I
here,
I totally forget Milo is 81, but after Milo, it goes to I'm pretty sure Mudsdale. No, no, it's
Celesteela's is
Milo,
61.
then Steela, then Mudsdale. So
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't think it's that bad. Steela can run autotomized sets. Rayquaza can get it. Rayquaza can Dragon Dance to like change up its speed. It's got some like okay Scarfers. Well, no, it's got Scarf Rayquaza, which is an option, but not a great option. I take that back. It doesn't really have great Scarfers. Um, but yeah, my main concern with this team is like teams that have like strong Volt Switch users. I worry are going to eat this team alive because of the combination of the speed gap and the fact that Mudsdale is the only switch in. And like
But then
this
then
team
you
asks
just like
Mudsdale to do so much.
yeah, and then you just toxic the Mudsdale obvious Mudsdale switch in.
Yeah,
wait, I just wait. Is that true? Cause yeah, it honestly, yeah, they honestly do that.
like Shaman is here, but I don't even like Shaman when you're. I don't even like Shaman that much when you're allowed to give it a Z Crystal for Celebrate, and it's not allowed a Z Crystal. Like it's Seed Flare isn't that strong without.
I've seen some people run sub leech seed, but yeah.
There were better mods available for like Sub Leech though. Like even now, like there's like Breloom on the table. Um, you could like Whimsicott does that better. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
I like you can run Silvally Ground. Silvally is a fucking awesome draft mod, man. Like it can do everything. I was mocking for
Mhm.
a friend like, and I was like, I don't think he has checks to specs regular Kyurem, but Silvally Fairy could take 2 specs Ice Beams from regular Kyurem. So like
That.
like
Um.
that mon, yeah, like, and it's so hard to prep for Silvally, right? Like if like it's offensively good enough, like with access to Sword Stance, that like if like with the right typing that surprises you, it can sweep you. Defensively, it can fulfill a like it can wall you in a way you didn't expect to be walled because you didn't quite plan on like that, and it just like sits there with parting shot to give like it can be a slow parting shot to make sure Rayquaza gets Dragon Dance off, or like Steela gets a free Autotomize to run away with the game. Like
Yeah,
Savali's great,
and
man.
also bulk up Cinderace could also be a thing. But yeah, I'd honestly say this team. Where would it be ranked? I'd say B.
Yeah, I think I'm on the B train.
Because like your real offense is like Rayquaza and Cinderace. That's it.
Which, I mean,
Steal over,
that
yeah,
can just
yeah.
that can be enough.
That's all you need,
And
really. I mean, you don't. Yeah, I mean that's really good offense, and like Steal it can
I my
sweep.
my thing again is how scared am I of facing this team? And I'm not. This is like I'm not as scared at. This might be one of the. I'm not as scared as some of the other A teams to
Yeah,
face.
His team
yeah.
doesn't.
I
This team
tip
does not
Steven.
like
I tip
seeing.
B.
This team does not like seeing opposing stealth rocks. It struggles.
Yeah, Stealth Rocks just, and I just realized their removal. Wait a minute.
They got. I mean, it's gonna. I mean, Cinderace can do boots court change, which is really good.
Yeah,
but,
I
and
get that.
Silvally can run defog, but it's not great.
It's Savali Murkrow, Cinder to an extent because you're never running defog on Ray. I'm sorry, but you're never.
No,
running
you're not.
If
No,
you,
you're
if
running.
you do, you're throwing. You are throwing your Rayquaza or in defog.
Yeah, let's rate the team.
I think B. I think B's fair.
Yeah, B, 100% B.
It's got weaknesses. It does have. I like it. I mean, I might have already for A tier. If you guys want to put it B tier, that's fine.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it relative to the teams in B tier?
I mean, it's definitely the best one. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's like tiering's like not a perfect system because
It's all
like
matchup dependent. There's a reason I didn't even like for the document I made. I didn't do any actual tiering.
yeah,
I
like
don't
I'd
like
put
that
it
much.
probably bottom of A, up the highest on B. So like either one is perfectly fine with me.
I did highest on B.
Okay, we'll put it there. Up next we've got
next
one of
team.
my favorite teams.
This is one of the most scariest teams.
I think this team is fucking broken, man.
So
Yeah.
just looking at it, Dougie is instant in prep for. Gotta bring shuts on basically everything, or pretty much
Yeah.
most everything. Mega Men's is just insane because just saying, guys, this is Return Mega Men's. If you forgot,
It's double edge
Yeah.
Megamans.
this is Return Mega Men.
You ever tried to switch into a Mega Man double edge thing? Doesn't even like it's got a. I mean, and there's good support to like let it double edge freely.
Yeah, and
there's a
like
Clefable on this team.
there's Clefable and Slowbro. It's like the bulk of this team. There's
and then
Dougie that can trap stuff that scares Mega Men's, which and like the best answer to Mega Men's are like ice types. There's a whole Zama
I mean,
for that.
this team is so scary to click ice moves first. Like okay, you click your ice move and like they can go to Zama, they can go to Volcarona, they can go to
Slowbro.
Slowbro, they can even go to Clefable and fucking Assault Vest Muck or Rotom Frost. Like this.
Or yeah.
This is a very good team. I mean,
I mean,
Muck is
I'll be
probably
honest.
the best Mewtwo counter.
I have this team in contention for for rank 1. That's like
Yeah.
my stance on this team. This team is.
Yeah, I think this is A. 100% A.
S
No,
tier.
I think it's
S
S.
tier,
I
S.
meant S. I meant S.
I think
meant
this
S.
this team covers like this team covers like this team has some incredibly broken mons and it covers their few weaknesses exceptionally well. Like the only thing that can switch into Mega Mens is Steel types, and there's a Dugtrio and a Volcarona and a Zamazenta Ground.
Like, pretty much, Mega Man's clicks DD, return, murder something, and also, if Mega Man's can run bulk, so like you could run like
Yes.
bulky D Dance Roost, and then all Mega Man's really need is return, or
I
if
think,
you're scared of burns, facade, and facade just ruins everything.
I need to
But
get
you
myself
really
coffee.
just need return and EQ.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and yeah, it's so good. And the thing about Mega Mens is you can actually run a supportive Mega Mens on this team very easily. Like Mega Mens gets Wish. You know.
Yeah.
Have you
But
seen,
also,
have you seen that?
Clefable also gets Wish if you need
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
And
but like, it's just so crazy. Wish Defog Mega Mens can still fucking rain a Draco Meteor off of a like base 120 special attack, or like a
And like
hyper voice. Like,
Yeah, I think Mega Mints is probably my second favorite gold Uber.
I
Um,
like Megaments and
this,
Dougie
yeah,
because Dougie basically says, "Oh, you want to set rocks? Uh, you die while doing them."
yeah,
And
yeah,
then they just bring in Decky, defog or Rotom defog, and then Mence is free to DD in your face.
yeah. We definitely
And
agree on
like,
this team being S tier though.
yeah, it's
yeah,
S tier because
yeah.
looking
This
at
team's
it,
very,
they have teleport Clef,
um,
teleport Slowbro, and you turn this into and full switch Rotom, but the two teleporters can go into Mega Mence, 3D dance, game. It's that simple.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, people are gonna like you're gonna do what you can to like check. Like you're gonna have to prep for offensive Mega Ments like every time.
Yeah.
the only
Like
thing is
I've
like fire off Fire Blast to your fully defensive Steel type.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of weird shit you can do like to check things like Mega Ments. Typically, when it comes to broken threats like these, you oftentimes my go-to strategy when it's something like this is Mega Ments is like annoying too because unlike some of the other broken restricted, you can't just be like, I've tricked it a lagging tail, now I can contain it.
Yeah.
Which is something I've done for shit like Double Dance Groudon. But like Mega Ments, you do janky ass shit. You run a Focus Sash Mom with Ice Beam, or you run a Focus Sash Mom with Counter. um, it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I would
Tough
say
Mom
the
to beat,
one
man.
weakness is like it doesn't have, it only has two hazard setters,
But they're great.
but you don't want to really run Clef as a hazard setter.
Yeah, but it can. Like, and you can run like Doug Trio set rocks if you need to, like with the sash.
Um,
Um, yeah, I mean, Clefable's a fine rock setter. This team doesn't even really need rocks. Like the threats it has does so much damage. You care less about hitting damage thresholds because your main threats are like Quiver Dancers, Dragon Dancers, even Zamazenta can set up a Howl and use that. What's its base attack? Yeah, 130.
yeah, it's high. Alright, you ready to go to the next team?
And then like Doug Trio just with like Doug Trio with teleport support is so
Yeah, Doug
unreasonable.
feels like insane.
Yeah. Okay. Next team.
But yeah, next team I'm pretty sure is
my team.
yours, isn't it?
Yep. My team,
So,
which
the
lost week
Bell
one.
Tower Radiance. I got a good.
Yeah, I can start. I like this team a lot. I'm a Mega Mawile hater.
Why?
Um, it's not
Mega
very
Mall,
good.
Mega Mall is great, but
It,
uh,
I've never, I mean, I don't have like that much of experience, but I just see it die a lot. And then
uh,
you going for like this week, I saw it go for Sucker Punch on the Moltres. So the Moltres just roosted on the Sucker Punch and then killed it the next turn.
yeah. Looking
Especially
at
in
okay,
Psychic Terrain.
I feel like I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Lilac kind of threw with this draft. If this was me, I would have gone like DOA with like Corviknight P2, boom, two of the best pivots because when you have DOA, one of the best ways to use DOA is slow pivot into kill you button, slow pivot into kill you button.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
My biggest regret of this draft is not going Landorus or Corviknight second.
And I get that Lele is supposed to help for priority, but also Dialga's attack is kind of supposed to use priority in E speed, so that kind
Yeah,
of blows.
like three of their first three mons all like priority.
Yeah,
And Lele doesn't like priority.
I'd
Um,
I, I'd
I still don't want to
honestly
prep it. I don't want to prep against like I don't know if we play, but I you can just win games through prep.
I'd honestly
Um,
say, if I'm gonna be real, I would say drop Lele for. I don't know. I would say just drop Lele for a
See, I would
better
say drop.
fairy, because at the moment your fairy and your dragon answer is Mega Mawile, and that's not the best. In Ubers before, I had Mega Mawile as my only dragon switching, and it wasn't good. Like every dragon, like I think I had to fight, or I think I had to fight like so many dragons, and they would just run choice band and like murder me, or specs like with Draco. But yeah, you get what I mean, right?
Yeah, I'm not
Man,
like super
I don't
worried
think
about it.
Lele's the problem. I just it just a lot of it's high risk, high reward.
Yeah,
Um,
the idea behind the draft, like drafting so many threats and then like the kind of budget fire, water, grass core facilitators at the end, is that I can mix and match my threats really freely. So like
mhm.
yeah, Mega Mawile and Urshifu don't like psychic terrain from Lele, but I don't have to bring them with Lele, right? Like the team I brought today, which I think I definitely would have won with if I didn't play terribly, was Deoxys, Kyurem, Lele, Moltres, Superior, Seismitoad, right?
Mhm.
And I didn't want to bring extreme speed to that matchup anyway. So um,
Yeah,
if I didn't throw away Deoxys versus Scarf Palkia, it's probably would the team would have been great.
yeah. That's one thing I was gonna say. I saw that game. I would suggest you getting sticky, or well, you
Yeah,
have them. I
that's
would say
mastermind.
have webs out for potential scarfers, and like scout if they are gonna be scarf.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
that
hyper offense kind of like you're not allowed to make a mistake or you lose, and
Yeah,
that's
no,
not
like
yeah,
like I make lots of mistakes every game,
for
and
example,
this team has
let
and
flaws.
so
like for example, I used DOA in one of the NPB speed tours, and I got destroyed by like Sub Zama, because basically Deoxys, it clicks a button, but if they're behind a
mhm.
sub,
Yeah,
it dies
yes,
pretty much. And that's also a reason why Life Orb or Sash are really good items on DOA.
Hmm. Yeah,
I mean I
this
think that I like this team.
I do too.
Um, it
it
just it's one of those things that it might take a few weeks to figure it out, but the problem in a 9 week season
it's hard to play.
is you only have so many losses.
Personally, I think some transactions might help, but I don't know.
Yeah, I like the budget firewater grass.
Yeah,
I like all three. I like all three of them.
R11 points. I love that too.
I think it's just I kind of have the same like. You might need to make transactions, but there's only so many options with what you have and what's available. I'm sure you've looked at transactions,
Yeah, I
but
nearly I thought about snapping up Clefable for Lele and doing some other stuff when Az dropped it, or not.
Hmm.
Did Az drop it? Yeah, Az dropped it and then picked it back up. Actually,
Yeah.
I think that team
This
might be a
one's
bit
pretty
different than
good.
I
I'd
considered it.
say maybe B.
yeah, I think it's B because like you have to be very good in your prep. But if you prep well against it, you should you should be able, throw scarfers,
Hmm.
throw just
Yeah,
bulk. And
this team would appreciate a better defensive mon that can scout for choice scarf, like something that like scarfers just can't break, which is a failure.
Yeah.
Failure in the draft. I wish I yeah if I wish I had Corviknight. I tried to gamble on Corviknight coming around for pick 3. That didn't happen. Um, I've gotten away with it every other time I wanted Corviknight. Third pick
Yeah,
Corviknight,
Corviknight's a
but
hard mon to judge.
Yeah, I would have just gotten like.
Your issue is if you don't get single strike, it's not coming around to you,
yeah,
and you already got stuck with bad bronze.
And honestly, this team like can force out fairies with Mega Mawile. Like Urshifu Mega Mawile can just Shifu can like U-turn as you bring in fairies. The Mega Mawile can sub on the fairies because if they stay in, which they won't, if they stay in and you Iron Head, their Urshifu check is dead.
yeah. Okay, so you want to put me in B tier? Where
Yeah,
where
I
in the
think-
tier?
Yeah, B tier.
Yeah, I also could have used Caesar, DJ. You're right. I had a list of bulky pivots that I gave to a mod for my third pick when I went to bed, and when I woke up, all of them are gone.
Yeah, that's kind of how I got stuck with Mew. The mons I wanted went one after another in round 2.
Okay. So where am I in B tier? Beneath the Victinis, beneath the Goodra Gang, beneath the Derps, above.
Yeah. I think B.
Yeah, but like where in the tier?
I'd say above the Gudras.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I think definitely above. I think they're similar scariness, but I think I'm more scared of your team than the Gudra game.
Yeah. So I guess we're going on to the next team. Which is Bold Knock and the Miami Moltres,
It's a
and all I gotta
It's
say,
the team I lost to.
Palkia the GOAT. I love Palkia.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like.
even though I
It's
technically
very good
lost,
typing.
even though I did technically lose to Alakazam and Mega Heracross this week, I stand by my opinion on them, which is that the team doesn't need them. In fact, I don't think the team needs any of the last 4 picks. I think the first 6 are great though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just look. I'm personally like a. I know they got sniped of like the best core in like Palkia Mega Scizor. They got sniped of Mega Scizor, but just looking at Palkia, like doesn't really have a switch in because like it's Water Dragon. Like Feeny and Prim are like the best answers to it. But you got a whole Zero Ore, and one thing I'm just gonna say right now, I don't think Volcanion fits on this team because you grabbing it for Water Absorb, but you have a quad resist to water already.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. I think the main thing Volcanion brings to this team is an ice resist. It's a 4 times ice resist that doesn't share
Actually,
with
yeah,
you.
I would get a better fire that resists ice.
Right about. Yeah, like something like I know Entei's still on the board. I was looking at the tiers while we were talking.
I'm just saying, just because, this is the. I'm gonna say this right now. I think this team is more weak to freeze dry than the other team.
Oh, this team is extraordinarily weak to freeze dry. That was
I know that's such a bad example, but like, once again, Specs Cure White.
Yeah, it's
says hello.
Walled by
everything is murder.
Yeah, if you lock into freeze dry, you are walled by Florges. That mon has absurd special defense, so it's not.
If it's modest specs, I think it's 2 shots.
Have you seen that mon special defense?
Probably not freeze dry, but like you still run Ice Beam.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this team, you actually Ice Beam is a lot harder to click versus team. There's a Volcanion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. This team is weak to freeze dry. My entire game plan was built around the fact that Sub Roost Kyurem literally didn't need an item; it just needed freeze dry to basically win versus team. But so I could
Yeah,
run boots,
like
but,
it's very weak. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm just doing something for fun. Let me just see.
But I think the freeze dry
um,
weakness is manageable. I think Florges is good enough, and your team.
Yeah, Florges takes one. Modest freeze dry does 44 to 51. If it's Fizz Depth.
Yeah, but if you're against Kyron White, you're going to calc for
If
that.
they're like Spadef, then yeah, they just won't.
So you don't kill through leftovers, and then you get protect with stalled.
Yeah, I would personally say just get a better fire than Volcanion, because you already have a water, and like, I mean,
Yeah, I think
they don't share any weaknesses. Like, yeah, they don't share any weaknesses, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I love I love Volcanion, but I just don't like on this team pretty much.
I want this team to get Mega Latios. This team can actually draft a 21 pointer still.
Oh what? Oh yeah, I just realized. Yeah, this is Solo Palkia.
yeah. Zam is. This is the first time I've seen Zam drafted in a very long time.
Yeah, I'd take Mega Latios as a psychic type over Alakazam.
Yes, I would too. And your double fairy isn't the worst with Fortress and Ferrothorn. But I think it's another team that like the top 6 mons are very good.
Yeah, I would yeah, I mean I'd put this team somewhere in A tier. I would I'm just I wouldn't mind seeing like Alakazam, Heracross, and Archeops consolidated into like and like maybe Lickitung as you want, but Lickitung costs 2 points. Like consolidated into a like a Mega Latios, and then something else that can take freeze dries pretty well. Maybe another
I can kind of see why they went Solo Palkia, because the only Ubers left that they can paired with are Mega Latios and Skyman.
Yeah, and you don't want Skyman. That's
I personally would much rather have Mega Latios over either Heracross or Alakazam. So I think you fucking cast polymerization.
Yeah.
Fusion summon Mega Latios using Alakazam and Heracross as the materials.
But honestly, I honestly like Zam Mega Heracross here.
I don't know. I think there's so many psychics in Alakazam. I just don't think it's.
I just realized this team does not have a dark type.
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem if you face Mewtwo.
Yeah. I'd personally say, if anything, if you were willing to drop Zam and Mega Heracross, get Pangoro. Like,
you could get
something.
You could get
something.
You could get Mega Latios and Pangoro if you dropped Archeops as well, and I think Archeops is terrible here.
Because the thing is, you can't afford Mewtwo because for example, Zero Aura is kind of weak. If the Zero Aura clicks knockoff on the Mewtwo and its weakness policy,
it's over.
That is the entire game. Clicks Psy Strike, Flamethrower, and Shadow Ball.
I don't know. I just lost to a Scarf
like that.
I just had my powerful psychic type attacker OHKO'd by Scarf Palkia Heavy Slam, so that Mewtwo better watch out.
I get that, but like, yeah, I get that, but yeah, watch out, Mewtwo. But,
okay, well let's rate the team. I think A tier. It's definitely better than B tier.
I would rate this as a A tier.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's better than all the B tier teams.
Guess it's time for the next team. It seems.
Where would I put it?
I think it's one of the lower A tier.
I don't know that I like it more than the Arceus teams. I think I like it more than your Yveltal team.
Yeah, I think we're similar.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put it there. Philly Fione. This is Boldnock's team.
Yes.
This is a team that I like the first 2 picks of, but I don't know how I feel about the rest
Philly
of it.
Fione is Prismu, but looking at this is not bad because Double Dragon can work.
I think that not just can work. I think Double Dragon is an exceptional core when both your dragons are broken.
I've seen
I won with Double Dragon.
I've seen some Sword and Shield Uber leagues. I saw one person got both of those exact same Ubers in the Wi-Fi league, and it worked out. So honestly, I think this works out here too.
Yeah, to me, it's basically 2 dragons and bulk.
Yeah, okay.
This team might be the bulkiest in the league.
I'm gonna be real. I feel like this team. Okay, this is gonna sound weird, but this team should totally get either Magnezone or Magneton.
Yeah. Gotta trap those steals.
Dragmag, just like click button, murder the steals.
Yeah. I like this team, but I also do have some major problems with it.
Yeah,
I will
do
say,
too.
Mega Venusaur, it was on my list of grass, but it's way too expensive in this league.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing. It's way too expensive. Like, I'm just looking at this team. I'm just looking at the megas that went undrafted. Like, Mega Gyarados could have fit pretty nicely if they drop Rotom, like, or Cheetar. Like, just looking at all the megas that are still available. Like, they could have had a lot of megas. Like, they could have gone like megas.
You can have Rillaboom for just a few more points.
Honestly, yeah, Rillaboom would fit so well on this team. Like, I mean, there is a Gligar, but I just got a different ground.
Yeah, well, there's a lot. I think, yeah, I mean, I think this would be a good Rillaboom team. I like Megasaur too, though. My problems with this team, I like the first 4 picks quite a bit. My main problems are the Registeel, the Sand Mode, and the Gligar. The Sand Mode here is really bad.
Because, just saying, thing is, once again, I had the exact same problem once. My Steel type was Registeel, and I had to fight Mewtwo, and it was not good.
It's really passive. Like, Registeel is really passive.
Like, Shadow Claw from Registeel doesn't even do 50. Like, that's the only thing that can hit Mewtwo for super effective, really.
Yeah. Yeah, and like there's a Sand Mode here, but the only abuser is Stoutland, who is super medium.
Yeah, and also, Sand weakens Mega Venusaur because Synthesis. Mm-hmm. Sand weakens Avila because Sturdy is broken. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I feel like they should drop all the sand.
Yeah, I would as well. I think so. The Sand Mode here would be really good if they had a strong ground type Sand abuser. Like if they drafted Excadrill with Tyranitar. I think having a good ground type would be really good for this team. But they don't have Excadrill. They have Stoutland. Actually, I'm
not bringing Stoutland.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it in the next team. But the other team, the Excadrill team. There's like a Sand Excadrill team, and I really think that just these teams should come to an agreement on who gets the Sand Mode, because right now both their Sand Modes suck.
If you really need a Dark type, I'd honestly just get Rillaboom, and then like, if you're so desperate, I would honestly just get Mega T-Tar.
Yeah, I think this team has promise. I think this team does need to make some transactions, so I think there's some pieces that are too passive. I think the Sand Mode here, I think it's tough to get a core 6 team. I think it's tough to build like a core 6 that really feels cohesive out of what's here, which is not good.
The top 4 mons that are good are the top 2, Rotom, Walsh, and Sylveon. Like, yeah, that's like it, because like Registeel can't back off the scary psychics. And those psychics have a move called Aura Sphere or Focus Blast. So, boom. They just run, legit, Mewtwo just runs Kasib with Aura Sphere, Psystrike, Nasty Plot, and whatever else. That's all it
No,
runs.
I mean,
That's it.
to be fair, like when we're comparing, can it beat Mewtwo? The answer is probably always no.
Yeah.
Um,
I would just really like to see more than anything. I'd like to see something like the anti synergy drop, and I'd like to see a strong fire fighting type on this team. Like if you want to keep the Sand
yes,
mode,
I just don't.
get like a Terrakion, get a Blacephalon, something else that like takes the offensive burden off of your dragons.
Yes,
Because your dragons do like both, like if they're really breaking stuff, like Kyurem kind of likes to run choice items, or it can run boot sets. But like I don't know, I think Blacephalon would be really good here.
Yeah, like
Scarf Blacephalon will
I
go in.
thought it was taken, but let me just.
No,
I'm just looking on
nobody's
in the
got.
back of my
and this is
phone.
another team with
Ooh.
a bad speed tier. It has one fast thing.
Yeah, that's.
Okay, not gonna lie.
Well, there's a
I'm
Sandrush
looking at the
Stoutland,
team
but
now. I'm looking at the team now. Mega Medi's still there, and that would fit so well on this team.
Yeah, and it's
Like,
like 1 point. Again, it's another mon that's much better than Venusaur and barely more expensive. Like
yeah, it's only
all
two
the
more points
16
better.
point megas are much better than Venu and 1 point
Yeah.
more.
yeah, I think I think we're all pretty much in agreement. This team has strong pieces. I think it could be a really scary team with some transactions.
Yeah,
I
it
just
can. It
I
honestly
feel like
can
it went a
be.
little. It feels like it went a little off the rails after the first four picks. Um, yeah, I'd like to see the Sandmilk on. I'm not a fan of Liger as the ground type. Avalugg is a Avalugg. I'm fine with. It's pretty good at the price point it's at. If people don't respect
Hmm.
Avalugg, it can be a great check to things like Rayquaza. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, the Venusaur and the Registeel. I'm fine with the Venusaur, but not like it doesn't. It plays really. It does not get along well with Tyranitar, but it's like resistances are useful for this team. I'd love to see like a strong fire and fighting type added to just like help this team get like breakthrough steel types, because right now it struggles with that. Like
Yeah.
you really want to kill opposing. You really want to have ways to like kill opposing fairies and steel types outside of your dragons, so that you can start just clicking Draco Meteor. Because
Hmm.
if you get carried to the point where it can like where the steel types are either worn down, so they can't they get to a KO by Draco, or like stuff can't switch in. One of my favorite Pokemon to use with like double Dragon type cores is actually Mega Beedrill, which I think is also on the table if you want to go that route.
Yes, it is.
It's fast. It would like help round out your help speed up your team a lot, and it's great at killing
Yeah.
fairies. But like beyond that, like Blacephalon would be excellent here for its ability to just like run a choice scarf to help, and also just be fast. Trick Trick Scarf or Trick Specs are also fantastic options to get past walls that are otherwise checking you, by limiting their longevity. Like Corviknight might switch in, like something like Spadef Corviknight might switch in really well in this team if you're choice locked, but it does not. I'm gonna tell you, it does not switch in well in Blacephalon. Or a powerful and faster fighting type like Terrakion also would do a lot of good. And if you keep the Sand mode, Terrakion gets Spadef from Sand, right? Like
Hmm.
there's a lot. You don't have to drop. You don't have to drop everything. But you either need to strengthen your sand mode by getting something else, some other stuff that appreciates sand, and cut the things that disappreciate sand, or I would say cut the sand mode and get some raw power that isn't reliant on synergy. That's my opinion on that team. Let's go ahead and actually put it in the ranking. I definitely think, as it is now, that this is one of probably. I think I love Kyurem White and Dragapult, and I love Sylveon. This team's got like some of my favorite Pokemon of all time, which I think are exceptionally strong in draft. So I think this team easily has the potential to become A tier, but I think as it is right now, it's just not very cohesively put together, and I kind of want to put it like C tier.
Yeah, I think it's C tier, but like
Yeah,
yeah,
Scrafty. Yeah. DJ says Scrafty. Yeah, Scrafty would be great for this team as like a budget option.
yeah. You just to me in Ubers, there's just some important pieces that you need on each team, and this is missing those.
It lacks. It's missing either it's missing either more threats or like facilitators to let your threats come in more frequently. I think is like what it
Yes,
boils down
there's
to.
no switching besides Rotom and Dragapult and like a little Sylveon and Gligar, I guess. I will say I like this next team a lot. I want to go to the next team.
Path of Braviary.
I think,
No-No's Path of
yes,
Braviary.
I
Okay,
think
let's look at it.
Sand plus very probably the best fairy in the game. Um,
I see this so often. I see I'm this is like the third team I've seen of Xerneas Sand.
yeah, I just think it's good.
I actually don't like this.
Yeah,
I don't
it
like the
is,
sand
'cause,
mode.
like, what's Xerneas afraid of? Poison and steals and fires. What beats them? Sand.
You know what else beats them? Mega Gallade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's also true. I think Mega Gallade, Xerneas. Mega Gallade's the best non-Uber in my opinion. And
It's
Xerneas
up there.
is very good. I was doing some calcs this weekend when I was bored, and Xerneas just hits so hard.
Yeah, my unpopular opinion, and probably a hot take, is that I don't actually love Xerneas at 27 points. But I do think if you're going to pick Xerneas at 27 points, then Mega Gallade is like the best possible second pick that you could make.
Yes, I think it's good. Is you're in a weird, like later you're in a draft. Like the reason I didn't go 25 points is because I didn't want to get stuck with a crappy 21 pointer.
Yeah.
And I wasn't gonna get some of the best, all the best non-Ubers went before I went. So I think when you're later in the draft, you're guaranteed a like a Mega Gallade or Lando I or Mega Scizor or Zeraora. Um, and I don't know. I just think Xerneas
I think his team
is so good.
I think his team has a lot of good pieces. I really like the first 4 picks. I wish I would like the sand mode more if the sand setter wasn't Gigalith. I think
Sure.
I think when you're running Gigalith in your 6, then you're saying my sand mode is really really good. I don't think this team's sand mode is that good. I think the sand hurts the longevity of a lot of these mods, and I don't know. My other hot take is sand is like nice to have as an option for Excadrill, but Excadrill really likes running Mold Breaker in these formats. Like
Yes.
think about the teams of mons that would otherwise like that walls. There are so many mons that wall Sandrush Excadrill that are beat by Mold Breaker Excadrill. Like look right to our left, Rotom Wash. I think we saw Rotom Heat just a bit ago. Like there's a lot of mons like that.
I mean, and I ran Excadrill. I made it to the quarterfinals of this league in a it wasn't Nat Dex, it was like Galar Dex.
Yeah.
And I ran in my most important matches. I ran like toxic Stealth Rock Excadrill and like Rapid Spin for support.
Yeah. This team, by the way, is going to need to run that kind of Excadrill set, which is the other reason why I don't care for the sand mode. Because I don't know if you look to the 3 picks after Excadrill, you'll notice that they all have a thing in common, which is the flying type. And what goes along with the flying type is the fact that this team is eaten alive by Stealth Rocks. Xerneas doesn't.
Yes, I do.
Have
I didn't notice that until 5 minutes ago. That 3 flying types is not very good.
Yeah, I see triple flying.
That's not very
like this team
again,
needs.
Like Entei's right there. I don't know why no one got an Entei.
This team needs to run Rapid Spin Excadrill, which means that offensive Excadrill sets aren't as good unless you're running like the SD Spin set.
And these 3 mons don't want to defog. really.
Obviously, not all the flying types are coming to a game, and so you can get away with stuff like this if like you're only ever bringing one of the flying types. But
Gmod
But
doesn't
then why
get
draft? You want to be able to, in my opinion, be able to bring as many mons as possible to your game. So if you have
Yeah,
three, like the normal types, if you have three flying types, you're only going to bring one probably.
yeah,
There's a
but like
side note.
if your core,
Gmod does not get defog.
Yes, it doesn't.
It's not. So that's a big oof for that team. But yeah, I like the Excadrill Gigalith and Mega Gallade Xerneas. Like, I don't know why you have double Psychic.
Slowking is fine.
And
You shouldn't think of Mega Gallade and Slowking as double psychic because Mega Gallade, when it's Gallade, it can have Justified. So it like actually likes to switch in and knockoffs quite a bit to potentially sweep. But Slowking is a great facilitator. Like you pick Slowking for like future port and stuff like that more than anything. Like this team likes teleport a lot.
I think Slow King's good with at 13 points. That's a very good 13-pointer.
Yeah,
I just sorry.
Yeah, as you say, like my problem is I don't like the draft after the extra drill. I just don't like the rest of this draft. I think Galarian Moltres is pretty good at 9 points. There's a mon that can 6-0 people.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of crazy.
I would definitely take those. Keep G Moltres and get rid of the other two flying types. So that's 23 points that you can use to get two very good mons that you can bring every week.
Yeah. I mean, Talonflame's main job is to like switch into like strong fighting type attacks and stuff like that. But you have a Xerneas, you have a Gallade,
Yeah.
you have a Slowking. You don't need that. Thunder.
I think this team, is. I want to say it's A, but like that's only because Xerneas, Gallade, Drill Core are the only good mons on.
Yeah, I move it to B.
I can't put it in A tier. There's too many things I don't like about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Like, there's a good core, but like, I don't know. There's like, you can't. I don't know. I like the first 4 picks, and then it feels like the entire draft went off the rails. The only pick I like after Drill is Moltres, but I don't like Moltres in the context of the rest of the draft, where there's already 2 other flying types.
Same. I think B's the place to put it.
You made some trades, Prismu. Let's take a look.
The trades, I mean, will make a difference. I don't see any trades on the dock.
Not posted yet, but they'll come up.
Yeah, they're not posted yet, but I think we should. I think it's time for, like, I think we already talked about.
Okay, I see. No, wrong team.
Okay, so.
Okay, here are the trades. Want me to read them? Oh no, he made trades. The trades are accurate.
Yeah.
He had Chomp, Torkoal, Stunfisk, G, and Binu. And got Excadrill, Talonflame, Roserade, and Type Null.
I personally think you should have kept Chomp.
Oh, okay. Prismu is changing up the. Prismu just posted the new
Double
team.
Dragon team just literally changed his whole team after we got done talking.
Not the whole team. They kept the great core, the Kyurem, Dragapult, Rotom,
Yes,
Sylveon.
but I think this team might have just moved to S tier.
What?
They've changed it to they kept the first 4, but now it's just Skarmory, a Mega Beedrill, a Rillaboom, an Entei, and an Avalugg. I think that team is sick.
I think this team's very, very, very good.
I'm sad that we apparently made Prismu sad, but yeah, I think that team is sick. Yeah, I would move. Yeah, I would. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna honor the thing for week 1, but I've got this Azelf thing from before Az sent me a team thing, so I'm gonna use this Azelf to put the new the new Philly Fiones put it in A tier. I think this is up there with the Arceus teams. Like just at a glance.
I think this team is very good.
Yeah, I don't want to go back to it because like these are week 1 power rankings too much.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
fine.
I would put the new one like. I think the team is really sick, and it reminds me of one of my favorite teams I've ever drafted. So I put it in A. I put it in A tier between the Arceus teams. That's gonna be the quick move.
All right, you want to go? Are we going to the Ho-Ho team now?
I still need to put Path of Braviary down. I think somewhere in B tier.
Yeah,
I think it's low B. It has a good core, but a weak back, and
I
that
feel
could
it's
easily be.
somewhere around the Gudra gang.
Yeah, you could.
Better.
I think
Above, below.
either or. I think it's about the same.
I'm gonna put it below the Gudra gang. I don't like the 3 flying types. Prism, those trades were sick. I think your new team is sick. You've got a lot of my favorite mons on. You've got like 4 of my favorite mons on it. I love your team. Let's see. So next we go to teams 13 to 16. We go to one of my other top 2 teams, which is the Bulky Dragons. This team is also frickin' sick, and this team might be the most well-constructed team in terms of like cohesion and synergy, in my opinion. And in the way it really, the structure of the team really works to negate what would otherwise be seen as significant weaknesses.
Yeah, I will say, I think it got. I mean, I don't know if I love Ho-Ho.
Ho-Oh was
Maybe it's
actually like broken. Like they have it tiered right in this league. I've seen other leagues always put at gold or like.
yeah, that's what I've seen.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say one last thing about the Path of Braviary, which is that you know what would be great for that team? A good dragon type, because that team gets eaten. Because that team is like, like outside, like there's an extra drill, but it gets eaten alive by Volt Switch. And you know what? Like else, you know what's on the board available for draft right now that this team could easily acquire? Garchomp and Komo-O.
Yeah.
And both of those, actually open up Excadrill a ton to do other things. Because right now, Excadrill it has to run Stealth Rocks, it wants to run Rapid Spin. Like it's got to be the defensive ground type to switch in on electric moves. You get Garchomp or Komo-O, and you really open up Excadrill's opportunity. And I like the Sand mode a lot more. And if you run Chomp, you can fucking run Sandveil and Bright Powder and fucking make somebody angry. So
yes, I agree.
But yeah, Bulky Dragons. This team is awesome. Also, who's getting a million Discord pings?
Yeah,
that's not me. I'm on.
That's me.
Yeah, Ho-Oh, really good. I don't think it's at the top of the 27 pointers. Like as far as 27 pointers go, I like Yveltal more. I like Mewtwo more. I like Arceus more. But Ho-Oh's great, and this team built around Ho-Oh incredibly.
Yeah. Like, I personally, this is just me, but I personally would have gone, like, more Regen Core with Ho-Oh.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I think this team sets itself really up really well, though, to capitalize on Ho-Oh's offensive prowess, which I think is an underrated aspect of the mon.
This team, looking at it, it lacks removal.
That's the beautiful thing about this team. It doesn't need it. So, and I'll tell you, I'll tell you why I kind of think that in a second. Like having a Rapid Spin or defog option just so that you can get away with greedier Ho-Oh sets. Frequently.
Now you basically can't run Scarf or Banded Ho-Oh. You're forced boots every single week.
You're not forced because hazards are actually terrible versus this team. Which is odd to say because there's a Ho-Oh and there's a Weavile, right? But So the thing about clicking hazards is you don't know going in. Like you kind of have to expect that Ho-Oh and Weavile, or like at least Ho-Oh is going to run boots. But the thing is, if Ho-Oh and Weavile run boots and you run stealth rocks, they do like you spend your turn setting hazards. Your hazards do nothing versus team.
Yeah.
But like just looking at like Megalop doesn't want to take spikes. Taboo doesn't want to take spikes either. But like just looking at like
Yeah, and
their
also
only
you do
removal,
have removal like Ho like boots Ho can run defog like
I guess, but or like then you can't run Regen Vest Hobo really, and like your only defog at the moment is Lando Eye and Venomoth.
nah yeah defog Ho is great. The thing about offensive Ho sets, and like I've run these kind of Ho sets in the past where you like run like a more offensively spec Ho with like Brave Bird, Sacred Fire, and then you just run like Roost Defog because Ho only needs 2 attacking moves to like break anything because it's got a
Yeah.
monstrous physical attack and its stabs are great.
Mhm.
I don't. I talked about it in my write up. I think this team is a team that looks weak to hazards, but actually really isn't. Especially
preferably,
because this team is like you can't click knockoff versus this team.
Why?
There's a Bulu and a Mega Lopunny. Like if you click knockoff and like you let Mega Lopunny in for free, like you get reduced damage and knockoff and it resists it, and then now there's a Mega Lopunny in for free, and you have to deal with that. Like even
Yeah,
like
I think I like this team because each Mon kind of serves a role where other teams are like, why do you like I can be like, what does Bronzong do on this team? And we can clearly see what it provides, or Vaporeon, or Bulu.
yeah, I think this team
Um,
is incredibly well constructed. I think like the core like threat package of Ho-Oh, Landorus, Weavile, and Lopunny is
yeah,
exceptional, and
strong.
I think this is like a fantastic Bulu team. The fairy typing is really good here. Um, like Landorus and Bronzong are great ways to hedge against people running poison moves because they can they capitalize super like you have a great defensive mon versus poison type and you have a great offensive mon that will punish people for picking
Hmm.
poison types. And like Bulu's resistance is great. And this team like grassy terrain means that even if you run Bandit Weavile and Stealth Rocks get up, if there's grassy terrain up, like you get more switch ins than you otherwise would.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Yeah, I think
It's probably
it's
not.
yeah, and there's a wish Wish Vaporeon makes Bronzong and Bulu so much better, and like even Dratigan, who can and Dratigan's great at like the points it's at because Dratigan can glare spam, which means
Mm,
like you start getting like glares down on like you paralyze things and like they become hobo food.
yeah, and yeah, even Sableye can kind of be annoying. With Willow, willowing things, and Venomoth can put things to sleep.
Yeah, I want to see Venomoth 6-0 somebody. The Electrode is whatever. It's like 2 points or something, and it can set fast screens. Um,
Yeah,
which
I don't mind Electrode here.
it's fine.
Um,
It's like at 2 points. When you pick a mom for 2 points, you're picking it for some random niche, and like super fast light screen and reflect is like a good enough niche.
yeah, yeah.
Like
I mean, you're probably the highest on it.
Yeah.
yeah, I think
But I
it's
think
easy
you
S tier.
convinced me on liking this team more than I did going into it.
Yeah, I personally think this team is easy S tier. I think this like I just look at the way it's constructed, and I think it's like
Mm,
super elegantly constructed in like a way that what should be weaknesses like you look at this team and you're like it's weak to stealth rocks. Its hazard removal isn't great. It's got a
mhm.
Weavile and like a Ho who don't want to come in rocks, but the way it's constructed, everything else is like cares so little about rocks that
Yeah,
and like you're like yeah
and
it's weak to spikes, but like if spikes are your hazard of choice, then you get
and it's
preyed upon by
a
Ho-Oh.
lot, a lot of, when I think
And there's
of
grassy terrain.
hazards, I'm like, if I set this team isn't Bronzong's probably the most passive mon, but like the risk or the opportunity cost of setting rocks, this team doesn't really care about, but it's just gonna attack you
Yeah, I
or
mean
switch into threat.
yeah, and I mean like yeah, like Weavile there's enough firepower that Weavile and Ho-Oh can run boots very freely. Ho-Oh can easily afford to just slot Ho-Oh can easily afford to slot defog onto every random moveset. Yeah, I put it in my write-up, DJs. I want to see you 6-0 with Venomoth. That's like my dream. Fucking 6-0 somebody with Electrode, Light Screen into Venomoth, Quiver Dances. But yeah, I would put it in S tier. You guys, if you guys disagree with me, want to put it in A tier?
I mean, that's fine. I think it's a good team.
Really,
I know Sceptile doesn't agree with me. Like, I think it's better than the Blues. Sure. I don't know if I think it's better than I think Az's team is the best, but I like this team a lot.
And
Yeah, I think this could go second. I think this isn't as good as is, but I think it's better than the A's.
I can hear Sceptile struggling.
Yeah. It's a very, very good team.
Good enough for me. S tier it is. Okay, Kolkata Corviknight Riders.
So now we are on the final 3 teams, it seems.
Yep, almost done. Always take longer.
I will say this team, it went for the more, I'm going to get 9 good Mons instead of most of us who got like 6 or 7 very good Mons. And so it has its 2 Ubers, and then the next highest is a 14.0. And I think that's going again. Like, it doesn't.
It's a well constructed team. I just think
It
might
is,
lack
but it
power.
doesn't have any Mon. Oh, Manaphy gets Tail Glow, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it does.
Man, if he gets to run like Tail Glow, Rest Hydration, Rain Dance sets,
Yeah.
surf things.
It doesn't have any Mons that just pop out besides its 2 Ubers.
This is a team founded on synergy.
So
Solgaleo feels overpriced to me though.
They have a Undark and Obstagoon because that's their only Ghost answer, and while Brick Break, Murder, then you don't answer Spectrier, for example.
But no one. I mean,
I don't think anyone even drafted
no one
Spectre.
has.
I
No
don't
one
think
has.
someone does, but I think someone has Gengar. I don't know about that either.
No one has Gengar
Doesn't
either.
Obstagoon get Sucker Punch?
No,
No.
it's not.
Oh, why doesn't he get Sucker Punch? Who chose not to give that Mon Sucker Punch? What the fuck?
Because
Yeah, no idea. But
you need to move calling and give Mons the right moves.
I really like the Fairy Dragon Steel, and I really like the Firewater Grass here.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, like
I like the way the team is constructed. Like the cores are good. This team is never going to lose to a Fairy type.
yes.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with the team is the fact that Solgaleo feels overpriced to me at 25 points. Which I think, but like Naganadell's a good
I would
partner.
have gone with
for it, though.
Megalicario over Solgaleo any day.
Yeah, like the fact that those two mons are like in the same tiering, right? But we'll get to talk about the Megalicario team next. That team's interesting. I think, it looks like it was constructed with the Express. Naganadel is good. This team, like, there are other teams with webs, but this team is like the team that actually feels like it kind of wants to be a webs team.
Especially for Obstagoon and Manaphy.
Yeah, well, Solgaleo too, right? Like that 97 speed. That's clunky for like it really like this team really wants Solgaleo to like run offensive threats here and kill things with Sunsteel Strike, but the 97 speed is awkward. It doesn't get the setup options that NDM gets. But with webs, you can run an Adamant Solgaleo and still outspeed everything. Likewise, Naganadel often ends up being relegated to speed boosting sets just because you need to run like Timid Nature to hit speed thresholds, and and then you become reliant on getting a nasty plot. But this team can run like modest Naganadel set. Like with web support, you can run like modest special attack boosting Naganadel sets that can just run away with the game. And I like that part of it. Rotom Heat, Togekiss, great role players, excellent ways, like, and Tangrowth too, like, make sure that, like, your ground weakness is well covered for. Um, it's a very slow team, though, like, even with, like, Galvantula and Naganadel, it does feel webs reliant to me, which, like, I like Donphan for that. Like you took the time to invest in a reasonable spinner as, like a main form of hazard control.
Yeah, Dominant's a really good spinner.
And, like, the electric immunity is very welcome for this team. Like, this team is well constructed. It lacks raw firepower.
Yeah. And I think in Ubers, it's important to have raw firepower.
Yeah, I could see
If
this
this
team.
was a Natdex team, like, I'd be like, this team could win it all.
Yeah, it looks like a really broken Natdex team, doesn't it?
Well, like, not even, like, put these two Ubers for two other very good Mons that aren't Ubers.
Mhm.
Like, the main synergy of it, from Togekiss down, is like you said, it
Yeah, well, I mean, I think
very good.
this league's Natdex forms, don't they even, like, allow Naganadel just without Nasty Plot?
Yes.
So, like, you had, like, yeah, I mean, it looks good, and I could see this team doing really well. Like, it's got a lot of great stuff going for it. Tangrowth is great here.
Yeah, Tango's good.
Like, the Leech Seed support is going to be really appreciated by Rotom, Donphan, Solgaleo. Like, Togekiss as well. Like, if you like Togekiss as well, like, can run Thunder Wave to, like, provide additional speed control beyond webs.
Even this, you got three good Thunder Wave users.
Yeah, I like this team. I feel like I like this team more than I want to rate it. Like, I like this team a lot, but I feel like I'm hesitant to rate it as highly as as high as I want to, just because it lacks, just because it lacks,
there's
like, a
other
raw power level.
other gold Mons. Because I never really looked. I mean, no one got Groudon, which is surprising. I mean, Magearna.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna put this team in B tier. I like it a lot, though. Like,
Yeah, I'll put it probably high B.
yeah, it's a well constructed team. It feels. You know what, I guess the best way to put it is, like, there are teams that, like, have broken shit and then they're built around the broken shit, and then there are teams that are, like, sweet and, like, they've got tons of synergy and, like, everything works together really nicely, but they don't have broken stuff. And so even though they're super sweet and they're well constructed teams, they just randomly lose to the broken stuff sometimes. Or and prep is always, like, really, they're the kind of team where, like, prepping with it, you can, like, you go into every matchup feeling like, yeah, I can win this matchup, but prepping is really difficult because you don't have anything super broken that will, like, you don't get free wins from broken shit with a team like this.
Yes.
Like,
I agree.
Like, you're going in, like, this team can win any game, but it has to skill check its opponents. And that can be.
Which in Ubers, sometimes it's just better to have broken than skill.
I would put it in B tier.
Yeah, I've been B tier too.
It might be my top B tier team.
Yeah, you like it more than Victinis? I'm down for that.
Yeah.
That's the Rayquaza team.
Yeah, I think I do.
Sure, we can put it
Just
there.
barely.
No.
Acidon Crooks. This is one of the weird teams.
The Acidon Crooks.
This is like the stall team that punches you in the face with Mega Lucario.
Yeah.
And Ashgren, but yeah, like, this looks like Stall with Ashgren and Mega. Yeah,
I mean,
like.
I think this is a team I rated Ace Combat 7. I think it's the team I rated Ace Combat 7.
That's a very scary Sand Core. Hit pad on Sand Shrew. Oh no, I'm so scared.
There's also a Dracozolt. Wait,
and Dracozolt.
What's
I forgot about Dracozolt. But that.
Was it Dracozolt?
Watch out for that Sand Shrew. Watch out for that Sand.
Was it Dracozolt in this team last time I looked at it?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you drafted it.
Yeah, okay, you did. I feel like I didn't. Yeah.
I think with stall, like, I played against stall players where
Yeah, it's important to recognize that
They
this.
they were better than me as a player, so they just dominated. But I also played against stall players that like stall's very skill based.
Yeah.
So if this person's very good at playing stall, this team might just win the whole thing.
Yeah, it's
If they're
important to
just
recognize that as much as I memed in my thing up, like I think I rated this team Ace Combat 7 because Ace Combat 7 is a game that introduced player controlled post stall maneuvers. Um, it's like the stall mons here don't have to be stall mons. Like Toxapex can easily be used in a balanced team. Mandibuzz can be a great facilitator
yeah
of U-turn to let your threats come in more often. Hippowdon can even
yeah
run more offensive sets, and it can like Reuniclus can run like a teleport set with regen. Like it can do a slow bro impression. Um, like yeah, like a future. I'm pretty sure a future sight teleport Reuniclus got banned from like RU or something. Like this team doesn't have to play a stall game, and the threats are such that like you'll Mega Lucario with 6-0 people. Like that mon is really really broken.
I was actually surprised. I wasn't gonna draft it, but I didn't realize it was. I thought it was. I assumed it was in platinum.
This team
I
doesn't want to play
pers-
versus Mega Sableye though.
I think Mega Luke should have been platinum, honestly.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
after seeing how much damage it does, like
Yes, it just
I
it,
had a match the other day, and like
I don't think they rated any Megas in
my
Platinum, did they?
my crocodile was like pretty much max phys def with Choppleberry, and it got killed from 85.
Yeah, there aren't
from a +1 Mega Luke.
there
Like,
aren't
that's
any
insane.
Megas in Platinum, and I think it's fine for there to not be any Megas in Platinum. Like I think it's fine to like make the decision that you want to keep Megas in like gold tier below.
Yeah, I can honestly every game. I hope every game this team just late game, Swords Dance Mega Luke, and the game's over, or Nasty Plot Mega Luke, and the game's over.
Yeah. Yeah, this team is interesting. I think this team asks a lot of certain mons. Like I think this team is very reliant on Mandibuzz. Like if like think about how weak this team is to like Earthquake if Mandibuzz gets worn down. Like this team is really gonna and like like a lot of ground and like how and then think about how many ground types pack Stone Edge, right? So Mandibuzz is going to be like Mandibuzz is bulky. Like Mandibuzz can take weaker Stone Edges. Don't get me wrong, especially if they're from slower mons where you can restall them. But yeah, this team is going to have to play very well to like let Mandibuzz continue to like persist throughout a game because the moment Mandibuzz goes down, you start becoming reliant on like Hippowdon and Reuniclus to like take strong ground hits, and if they get worn down even a little, they're gonna get 2-hit KO'd.
yeah. I mean, I actually do like this team because I mean Drake is all like if you don't prepare for it, can just win. Just Life Orb mix that can kind of just break through teams as well. I think Sand here is a good late pickup for this person.
Yeah, this is probably the best. Team probably is the best Sand mode. It's got a good setter
Yeah.
and a good threat, which the other two teams can't say.
Yes, I agree. I think this is an A. I think this is yeah. I'll put this in A.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably not as much as we're all gonna meme it as being a stall team. I would be surprised if they actually ran full stall very often. It's an option on the table for them, but like your threats are too good for you to just like play a stall game and then.
Yeah, I mean
It's just a very bulky balanced team, but we're all gonna call it a stall team, right? Yeah, we're in agreement.
And I think I'm not
Yeah.
a fan of Toxapex, but I think here it's actually pretty good because you don't have to rely on it week in and week out.
Yeah.
And if you can't kill Toxapex, you kind of just lose.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, pretty
it's
much, yeah.
the team. The team needed the extra fighting resistance, like more than anything.
Yeah,
Like
and it's the best one out there.
yeah, like Reuniclus and Toxapex. Like the stall teams are built upon like having a check for literally everything. Like that's like the whole idea of stall. And this is not. This really is more of like a very bulky offense team, but it's got it's got a whole bunch of good stall means, which means it naturally like it has the tools to check anything. But
Which is scary.
it's kind of it's kind of scary for some things because if you lose that check to it, and if you're not playing like full stall, like if you're playing with your offensive threats, like it becomes harder to preserve something like Mandibuzz, right? And
yeah, it's very
this
very hard
this team. I mean, this team's got double regen, but it's also kind of susceptible to hazards, like especially spikes. Spikes means that like things like Hippowdon and Reuniclus get to it KO'd by a lot more stuff. Another reason why this team is really reliant on Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz probably like the most important mon on this team, even with the Mega Lucario here. That's my take on it. I'm down to put it in A tier.
I think it's low A.
We have a lot.
But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this person goes, 7-1, 7-2, 8-1, and is high in the playoff, or just can't play the team and is 2-7.
I like it more than the Moltres.
Yeah.
Which team?
The Miami Moltres, the team that beat.
Yeah,
Miami.
I think I do too.
Do I like it? Do I like it more than the Arceus teams? Arceus is really broken.
Nah, I think RC team's just better because Arc does whatever the fricka wants.
Yeah.
Mind, Swords Ends, whatever it wants.
Man, A tier and B tier are packed. That's just like the nature. I don't like rating teams low though, so that's always going to be the case.
The only mon that's really solid here is Luke, Gren, and Sand. Really.
Last team.
The
Morbius.
Morbius from Frost on. I
The
gotta say,
the Morbin Morbius.
Calyrex Ice Rider is the absolute Chad and absolute goat.
This team, it's got tools to support Calyrex Ice, for sure.
Yes, it does. You actually have one of the absolute best Ice Rider checks in Mega Scizor.
And Zygarde 50 here is a fantastic pickup. The glare spam is really, really nice for Calyrex Ice, and its ice weakness is really well protected by Mega Scizor and Calyrex Ice.
One thing to also mention, Comfey does get Trick Room and U-turn, and Kecleon does get Trick Room. So
yeah, I've run.
You don't have to run Trick Room on Ice Rider.
Yeah, you don't have to run Trick Room on Ice Rider at all. You can easily run even just like
Choice Band Glacial Lance. Like,
yeah,
what
like
do
you
do?
Yeah, like you can easily run that sort of set, like and like rely on Zygarde's glare to open up opportunities for Calyrex to just come in and kill stuff, right?
Yeah, like, I like this. I think Neoligo. I'm not a fan of it. It doesn't need a lot of support, but there's a lot of support.
I think Neoligo's fine here. Neoligo's like less of a threat in this team and more of a role player. I think Neolego is going to see its main role be setting stealth rocks. That's what, at least, like it's a fast offensive rocker, which is good, right? Like it's going to be a pretty reliable lead versus a lot of stuff. It does exacerbate the steel weakness a bit, but you got Mega Scizor, so like you're fine. The one thing, the one thing is that outside of I'm not on the right page actually. Outside of the. No, actually, this team's speed is like Nihilego's fast, Torn's fast, Zarude is fast, even Comfey is pretty fast. And then Glare opens up a lot of speed options. Yeah, I mean, I like this team. Defensively, very reliant on Tornadus and Mega Scizor. I mean, Zygarde's obviously bulky. Blastoise is interesting here.
Yeah, like this team. I'd say this team is like the last in B. Nah, actually, scratch it. I think this is A.
Yeah, I don't know if I put in A tier. I have one of my problems with this team is that it doesn't have great ways to stop opposing setup sweepers. Um, it's like its choice scarfers aren't that strong and don't have great typing for revenging stuff, right? Like you run like if you're wanting to like you gotta ask yourself like how does this team beat like Mega Men's after a Dragon Dance, and the answer might just be that it doesn't. It's going to be reliant like a lot of like your best defensive checks can't even run like Mega Caesar can't run like a focus sash type thing to let it randomly live a hit. Zarud, even if you get a choice scarf, is still slower. Nihilego, even with a choice scarf, is still slower. So you're this team is gonna, in order to try and stop like boosted threats, this team is just gonna be reliant on like the raw bulk of things like Caesar, Zygarde, and Calyrex, but those can be chipped down really easily, right? And that's like my main problem with this team is that the potential Scarfers or Focus Sash users aren't threatening enough. The only thing here that like really boosts its speed, like you could run like a Choice Scarf, Shell Smash, Blastoise, but then if you have that, like, then you lose out on like the defensive utility of Blastoise.
What are you even saying? Like, Torntees or Rude is good enough speed, like 121, 105, 103.
Yeah, but they
95.
But it doesn't
can't set up.
So like the what I'm saying is that this team is going to lose to anything that sets up on it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of Dragon Dances out there.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Oh, I just realized. Yeah, because your only fairy is Comfey, and I've seen Comfey lose to Darkius and Draxius, so it's not the best answer for.
No, I'm not a Comfey. I think the power creep for Ubers is a little too much for Comfey, in my opinion.
Yeah, like you need a better dragon, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you look at like a lot of the other teams. Like this team's like it's got. Yeah, I'm just like worried about I'm worried about this team getting set up on because some of the mons here are set up fodder. Like, like a lot of stuff can set up on Zarud. Like a lot of stuff can set up on Blastoise if it's a more defensive set. A lot of stuff there's quite a bit of stuff that can actually set up on Mega Caesar if you're running like the bulkier sets, right? Like even Torn T doesn't have like the strongest offenses, like for like a lot of the broken Ubers, like Torn T can be set up fodder. Like you're just like your best bet is going to be hoping like to stop things like that is going to be hoping Zygarde takes a hit and can glare it, or Calyrex takes a hit and can Glacial Lance it, or Torn T can come in and Toxic it, but then you still have to deal with taking a bunch of hits. That's like my main problem with this team. Like I like a lot of aspects of this team. It supports Calyrex really well. I just like worry that this team could randomly get 6-0'd by stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I think this team still goes in either B or A.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I'm not arguing for C tier.
And I think that's the finale.
Yeah, there's a lot of strong pieces. I'm fine with, like, B or A tier.
I think it's, again, another border.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing. You know, Pokemon really comes down to skill level.
There's a lot of really strong pieces on this team. I can put at the top of B.
And
I kind of want to take
Ubers,
away, but I kind of want to take away points for the logo that they sent me. Hate this stupid meme. It's not even a funny meme. Okay. You know what? We're just gonna. Here's what we're gonna do. Fucking, you can have its own tier. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, let me,
That's it. Those are the rankings.
so let's
Uh.
me do. Yeah, there we go. Morbius is in Morbin tier. It's gonna be fucking happy there.
Right. But
Yeah. So our top two teams, Aurora Azelfs and the Bulky Dragons. Beyond that, we've pretty well crowded A and B tier with all sorts of stuff. Our only C tier team was the Philly Fions, but they just completely revamped the roster. So gonna put
Yeah.
so now they're where this Azelf is. Actually, I'm gonna swap around the Azelf. So the Azelf is where the Fions used to be, and the Fions is where the Fions are now. I really like that. I really like that new team. We didn't really talk about it much because it happened. The trades happened after, but I really like that team. It's super sweet, and like, yeah, it's got mega man. Mega Beedrill with like slow dragons is like that have high firepower is just so good. Like, you bring in on fairies. The fairies are contractually obligated to switch out of adaptability, poison jab, and you just click U-turn, and then whatever fucking bulky steel type comes in a Mega Beedrill has to stare down a fucking Kyurem White Fusion Flare. Like that game action will win you games.
I love Scum. I'm actually for 13 points. Scum has good value. Because it can just switch into things, and don't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean it's set spikes. This team is going to force swaps. Spikes are going to add up. It's obviously got great physical bulk. It can take the kind of like it can take the strong steel type attacks. Like people who try and if somebody people are gonna try and revenge Kyurem White with bullet punch. There's a lot of strong bullet punchers in this tier right now. It's gonna come in that all the time. Be happy to come in that. I really like that team. I'm excited to see how well it does going from week 2 forward. Yeah, these are the rankings. I think we're pretty good to wrap up here. I don't think there's any bad teams. Which is good. There's I think every team has passed to victory. I think some teams I think some teams have some redundant or useless pieces that they've invested a fair chunk of points in, and I think that's holding some teams back. I think our top teams are really, really good. I think, yeah, the Mega Mens and the whole teams are just really, really good. Yeah, I'm excited to see how the rest of the season plays out. Thank you guys for doing the power rankings with me. It's been fun.
Yep.
Oh my god,
Thanks
these
for
took
having me.
2.5 hours. Holy shit.
It's been 2 hours and 18 minutes.
Yeah, my stream's been up for 2 hours and 22 minutes. So we're gonna wrap this up here. Thanks for watching.
Yeah,
everybody.
we're gonna wrap it up here.
If you haven't followed yet, follow me on Twitch. I'm almost at 50. Then I can become a
Hope
Twitch
you
affiliate.
guys enjoyed the stream. See you guys next time. Peace out, my Sceptile squad, and to everyone else that's watching. Thank you.